Contenders with 6 touchdown passes today. What a catch! Brandon Cooks.
I think the throw, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Charles Johnson makes the catch!
And now, Move the Sticks with Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks.
What's up, everybody? Welcome, Move the Sticks, DJ, Bucky, and for those of you checking us out for the first time here, here's what goes on in Move the Sticks. 2 former scouts. Bucky, of course, played the National Football League as well. We look at the league from a personnel standpoint. We're looking at what happened the previous week. We're looking ahead, matchups, trends. We're going to get you covered in all those areas. We're going to do some all-22 breakdown as we get on later into the week. But a lot of ground to cover there, and you can catch this show on NFL.com/podcast. You catch these videos on YouTube. You can also go to iTunes and catch it there. You can subscribe and do us a favor, leave some comments there and some ratings for us. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. But that's kind of what we do here on Move the Sticks, Buck.
Yeah, a lot of exciting stuff. Taking a look at the game from a personnel perspective. Really excited to talk about this week's games because we saw a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of aging quarterbacks kind of turn back the hands of time. Have a lot of success throwing the ball all over the yard.
We got a lot of ground to cover today. And before I get it over to our producer, TD, to give you a heads up on what's coming up on the episode, I got to ask you, because I've been wanting this all weekend long, as a Tar Heel, as a North Carolina Tar Heel, your reaction when you saw Duke get hosed like that by University of Miami?
Well, you know, it's kind of mixed.
It's not mixed. You enjoyed it.
No. It's
laughed.
mixed only because Carolina plays Duke next week and next Saturday. So they're going to be a little fired up. But Carolina is competing for the Coastal Division Championship, and so we needed Duke to lose. Carolina beat Pitt. If they beat Duke, they can kind of write their ticket to the championship game where they could meet up with the Clemson Tigers.
Well, TD's our producer. He's not a huge college football fan. I'm willing to bet that he has no idea what happened in the Duke-Miami game.
I do know what happened because I listened to another podcast. But, yes, I do not watch college football. That's not my thing. I'm most likely watching hoops or soccer, football, Manchester United, big games. But for today's show, guys, as usual, we're going to do 3 things that stood out to us in Week 8. We're going to look at some Super Bowl contenders halfway point through the season. And we're also going to have Bucks GM, Jason Light, on.
Yeah, nice. We got a lot of ground to cover. By the way, I do a lot of put you on the spot, Buck, where I'll ask you questions, and it's tough spot. I'm going to look up some like stray Manchester United facts.
Yeah, the fact he just kind of slid it.
He kind of thinks
out
he's
there.
like the all-knowing soccer. I don't know nothing about soccer, but I'm going to find something. I'm going to stump you on some soccer trivia.
Bring it on, baby. Bring it on.
All right, that's going to happen.
It's convenient how he likes the best team, too.
Oh, you go figure.
Oh, man.
Go figure. Big Seahawks fan, man.
Why not Chelsea? Why not any of the other teams? But Man U, just kind of like a Yankee, Seahawks, Cowboys type fan. Lakers, all the other stuff.
He's a big like Romanian powerlifting fan here as well. Whoever's good, he's on board with them. All right, Buck, 3 things that stood out Week 8. I'll get things going here. First off, 2 teams that have good records, but I don't think are still just not getting the buzz they deserve. The Arizona Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings, both of them. I mean, the Vikings with Stephon Diggs and what they have on offense, Adrian Peterson rolling, all the young defensive players they have. It's a loaded group. And then the Cardinals, look, they get down big early against the Cleveland Browns, and they have that firepower under Carson Palmer, Bruce Arians. I love their vertical passing game. They, to me, are 2 underrated teams. Eli and Breeze, we know the numbers, almost 100 or over 100 points in that game. I think, though, this is a sign that not going to be able to sustain it at this level, but I do think these offenses are going to get hot. I think this is something they continue to build on. And then finally, the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, we've said it. There's too many good players in that team for their record to be as poor as it is. They go over to London and kind of found their mojo against the Lions.
Yeah, they did find their identity against the Detroit Lions. Their team that's kind of trying to bounce back from the loss of Jamal Charles. We'll see how they can keep sustaining in the AFC West.
Yeah, to me, though, I mean, we're looking right here at Adrian Peterson running the rock. I think this is a dangerous football team, man, the Minnesota Vikings with what they're doing. The balance, I look for, okay, is this team an offensive team or a defensive team? I think you look at the Vikings right now, you just say, I don't give the advantage to either side. I think it's a balanced, strong football team and playing good up front on both sides as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a team that is constructed to be a good team for a long time. It's a team that I expect to eventually supplant the Green Bay Packers down the line as the perennial team in the NFC North. Young, athletic defense. Mike Zimmer's done a great job getting those guys on board. Still trying to integrate and incorporate some of the young players there, but they have a lot of pieces going. Offensively, they're everything you want, Teddy Bridgewater and company.
I think they're a top 10 football team right now. That's how much I believe in the Vikings. What about your 3 things, Buck?
You know, my 3 things, you talked about the Rams being legit contenders. That was a big win for them against San Francisco 49ers. Did it in convincing fashion. The Oakland Raiders. I don't think the Oakland Raiders are going away. You know, I had a chance to watch them in the preseason, looking at the development of their young quarterback, Derek Carr, Amari Cooper being a dominant player on the outside, their defense playing lights out, Charles Woodson, my old teammate, still picking off passes at the age of 39. It just says a lot. And then another aging player, but a guy that is kind of turning back the hands of time, Chris Johnson. CJ2K, we haven't said that a lot because he went through a stretch where he couldn't get productive games, but now he's showing some juice. 4 100-yard games for the Arizona Cardinals. But look, this is the man of the hour right here, Todd Gurley and the St. Louis Rams. Todd Gurley has given them an identity. I believe they're legit. I believe the way they played against the Green Bay Packers gave them some confidence. They're physical. And when I'm looking for teams that can make postseason runs, I want teams that are built the right way, meaning strong running game, powerful defense. They're efficient at the quarterback position. They can do all of those things. And so if Jeff Fisher can kind of continue to keep the train on the tracks, I think this is a dangerous team. And Tavon Austin kind of gives them that X factor that every team needs to have.
Save some of your ammunition there because later on we're going to get into a discussion on these mid-tier teams and teams that have a record of 500, either one game above or one game below. There's a big chunk of teams in there. We're going to kind of move some up or pull some down, give you who we like in that mid-tier. So we'll get there, Buck. But I want to go back real quick. You talk about the Raiders and them being legit. My favorite play of the weekend was that little dump down to Taiwan Jones, the touchdown that he had against the Jets.
Yes.
I mean, that to me, you saw all the athleticism and the explosiveness that I remember when we studied him on tape going back to Eastern Washington. Buck, I was working for the Eagles at the time, and I remember going through the school visit. I mean, you just watch him make people miss on this run. The shape that he put on at the end, and then to just run away from everybody. It was something you saw. I mean, they were playing on that red turf. Remember, it was this Eastern Washington. It's where Michael Ruse went to school and donated.
In fact, when I was with the Seahawks, we used to have training camp there.
Oh, did you really?
We used to have training camp on that field in Channing before it was the red field. We used to have training camp at that facility. We've since they moved it back to the other part of Washington, western part of Marston. But yeah, that was our spot.
They've had a good football program there. But I went back through my notes, and I don't believe he ran at the combine that year because he'd been injured. So at his pro day, I went back, and you saw that athleticism in that play. How about these numbers from his pro day, Buck, when I was there? He was 6 foot, 196 pounds. I clocked him at 4.32, 39.5-inch vertical, 11-foot broad jump. People won't know the shuttle times, how good they are, but look, 4.12 short shuttle, which is outstanding. He was very, very impressive. And this is somebody that wasn't even fully healthy. Some guys that were at the pro day, my notes had him sub 4.3. So this is somebody with rare speed, rare athleticism, finding a way to kind of sprinkle him into this offense in Oakland.
And this goes back to the old philosophy under the late Al Davis. They want speed guys, the guys that can kind of burn up the track. Taiwan Jones is a guy that can do that. And it took him a while to find his footing in the National Football League. Is he a wide receiver, running back, DB, trying to figure out the best way to utilize his athleticism. Moved him back to running back this year, used him in the passing game to really create those mismatches in space. We saw the fruits of their labor on that play. I think it's something that the Raiders can continue to go back to because as Amari Cooper draws attention, as Michael Crabtree draws attention, there's some open windows on underneath routes. Having an explosive guy like that allows them to maximize and exploit it.
And the Raiders, one of the really fun, young, exciting teams.